As most moms with kids with disabilities have experienced the phone calls day after day after day in your career and as you're doing your regular job. One day I get another phone call, I go and pick up my son and I walk out to the corner with him and I realized I had my son's hand in one hand and his backpack in another and I had nowhere to go.
I was lucky enough to meet my co-founder, Mary Beth Ludwig, in the spring of 2000, and one of our employees happened to see Mary Beth literally standing there on the street crying. When I quit my job and borrowed those $2,000 for my family, it was literally within a month that Mary Beth told us of her vision to quit her job to start a company that could work with her son and with other kids like him. And I shared with her my vision of having just left my job and wanting to start just such a company.
Anova is a school for kids with autism, and they have a special way of learning here.
This particular school, I kind of like to think of it, it's kind of the rock and roll version of what school is. There's a lot of freedom in regards from the teacher standpoint.
There's a lot of things that I need to take into consideration throughout the day, not just curriculum-based and instruction-based, but reading my students, figuring out how their home life will be taking a part in how they'll be performing at school.
The fact that we're targeting that in the classroom, in services, in group time, on field trips.
Oh my God, it's great. I used to get bullied a lot. Anova really helped me conquer it and learn how to deal with kids.
I think Anova is a great place. I have lots of friends here.
It's pretty nice. Got in the tea room, swings, even in a keto class.
There's great staff. Everyone and tries to help you. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better.
It's been tremendous. Ashton has grown so much in the 3 years he's been here. He's made friends, which was huge.
Even though it's not always an easy job, we get an opportunity to make a difference every day. And so even on days where there's really tough moments, or maybe all day it's really tough, there was small successes that took place along the way.
There's a lot of integration in terms of what the teachers do, what the speech therapist does, what the behavioral specialists do.
This environment is calm, it's accepting.
Joshua will say that he likes school if you catch him in a good mood, and he will say that he hates school if you catch him in a bad mood. But he can also tell you about what he learned at school, and to me, that's the biggest difference.
We are offering an opportunity for kids who have never been successful to feel safe, to have a place where their sensory needs can be taken care of, to have a place where their social thinking needs can be taken care of.
If I ever have a problem with anything, whether it's at school, with academics, at home, after school activities, anything, I can come to a teacher or come to a counselor here and they'll totally be there for me and come up with several different solutions.
It's everything. She is thriving here. Her grades are A's and B's.
We're constantly throwing things at them that's going to create some structure changes in their day-to-day. And seeing them handle those changes with grace and with a sense of humor is kind of this aha moment.
They've taught me self-regulating techniques like taking deep breaths, although you have to take deep breaths to live, of course, well, just breaths in general.
The success of Anova to me is being able to meet every child where they are at that moment and help them move through life with grace.
They don't learn these skills that other kids learn just intuitively. And so we have to teach them these skills so that they can be in the social environment effectively.
It's a lot better for me. It's easier to go through every kind of system. Every grade level, it kind of feels like I'm moving on and on, kind of leveling up.
During individual OT sessions, we work on skill building around fine motor, gross motor, and sensory motor skills. So they come in and they're able to kind of learn how to regulate their body either through trial and error with some of the sensory tools that we have. They can try swinging on a swing.
We serve K through 12 right now, and we serve that with a lens of speech and language and social cognition and occupational therapy with that sensory regulation component and behavior modification component, and of course a high level of education and academic support.
I have not gotten any calls since Joshua has been at Anova for me to come pick him up. I am very happy. I feel so grateful that we found the school to begin with.
Our graduation ceremonies are one of the most brilliant days. It's just, there isn't a dry eye in the room.
It's a rite of passage for all students to become 18-year-olds and graduate from high school. It's a very deep and moving experience. It's especially deep and moving for the students who leave our program because of how profoundly unhappy many of our children were when they started with us, and how profoundly satisfied they are by the time they leave.
That day I was the proud mom of one of the kids in the graduation, and I couldn't even look at him without crying. I was so proud. I'll just never forget that moment of seeing him just so proud of himself and feeling so good about where he was at that time. As a mom with a special needs child, I was continually pulled back into the moment, which is great because that's one of the things that Kyle taught me to do, is always live in the moment.
Kids like us, it's not fair for anyone on the earth or any other people to get mistreated and have to struggle with the way they learn. If people were to help us and this school would get viral, it would probably really help a lot of people.
I would like to see Anova in a facility that's worthy of our mission. We are in old and cramped and inadequate quarters. We need the architecture. We need the space. We need the geography.
We need people to participate. We need to make this opportunity real for other people to get involved. We need the community to stand behind the needs of all citizens.
We are going to build on the legacy of our predecessors, and we're going to leave this community a much richer place.
I recommend this school.
Hi, I'm Joey Travolta, founder of Inclusion Films, a practical film workshop for adults with developmental disabilities. I'd like to thank Anova for having the insight to hire Inclusion Films to produce this video. Several students with autism got to work on this project and get paid. So please give as much as you can tonight. Anova is a great school. Thank you.